The payment step of the Race Wizard deals with where the race payments should be made and how processing fees should be handled in race-related transactions. Also in this step, you can enable donations. Your payment setup can be accessed by going to the Payments tab of the Race Wizard, which can be re-entered by going to the Race tab of the dashboard and selecting Race Wizard, or by going to the Financial tab of the Race dashboard and selecting Payment Setup. The first section of the payment step is for setting up your payment method. While RunSignUp does offer you the option to set up later, it is recommended that you set up your payment information as soon as possible. This tutorial will explain setting up your payment method now, setting up your payment method later, using the test mode, and customizing the general settings of the payment step. If at any point in this video you would like to jump ahead to an upcoming section, or go back to a previous section, then simply click on the corresponding bookmark. Setting up payments. To set up your payment method now, as most races will commonly do when creating a race, begin by going to the Payment Methods section and click on Set Up Now. After choosing to set up now, the Payment Account section will appear to you. Here you can either create a new payment account or select an existing payment account. If you already have a payment account set up from another race on your account, then you can select it from the drop-down menu and continue on. If you need to create a new payment account, however, then click on the button for Create New Payment Account. In the Payment Account Setup box, start by entering in a short description that will easily allow you to identify this organization or legal entity. Next, you will need to choose your legal entity by using the drop-down menu. In this case, we will be creating a new legal entity. The legal entity is the organization that the race is being backed by. You will then be asked to indicate which type your legal entity is. This could be an individual or sole proprietorship, a corporation, a limited liability company, a partnership, a tax-exempt organization, an international organization, or a government agency. In the Legal Entity Name box, enter in your legal business name, or if you selected individual or sole proprietorship for type, enter in your name. Once this field is filled out, you can also enter in the information for doing business as if necessary. The tax ID field is required and will consist of a 9-digit number. Depending on the organization type, this might be your 501c3 number or your EIN. Next, fill out the contact phone number, followed by your years in business, rounded to the nearest year. In the Annual Credit Card Sales Volumes field, indicate your best estimate for the amount of money you anticipate this legal entity to collect via credit cards each year. This number should be estimated based across all of this legal entity's activities on RunSignUp. Also, let us know if this legal entity has accepted credit cards before, either directly or through other online registration services. Enter in your address information, including address, postal code, country, state or province, and city. Then enter in the information for your legal entity principal, owner, or officer, or if you are creating a legal entity type that is individual or sole proprietorship, then you can enter in your own information. For this section, you can pre-fill your account info. However, you will want to look over these fields to make sure you haven't entered in any typos or incorrect information. Next, you will arrive at the Payment Account section. In the Payment Account Name field, enter in a short but descriptive name for this payment account using less than 50 characters. Then, select the organization type from the drop-down menu, either Races and Clubs or 501c3 Charities for Races and Donations. The primary contact section can be filled out either manually, or you can click on the button for Copy Principal, and the fields will be automatically filled out with the principal's information from above. Again, make sure that there are no typos or incorrect information in the fields that you are copying over. The payment account address information can also be entered in manually, or you can click Copy Legal Entity Address, and this will automatically fill the fields to match the address of the legal entity. Next, you will decide upon your payment method by selecting either direct deposit, or mailed check. If you select mailed check, then you will need to fill in the pay to order of field, and then you can either enter in your address information manually, or click Copy Legal Entity Address in order to automatically fill the fields with the information from above. Once again, please make sure that there are no typos or incorrect information in the fields that are being copied over. While we do offer mailed check as an option for payment method, RunSignUp's preferred method of payment is direct deposit. The direct deposit option allows you to receive your funds faster and directly to your bank account. After selecting direct deposit as your payment method, indicate whether the bank account type you will be sending your funds to is a checking account, a savings account, a corporate account, or a corporate savings account. Enter in your 9-digit bank routing number, which can be found at the bottom of one of your checks, and then enter in your bank account number, which can also be found at the bottom of one of your checks. Finally, read the payment account agreement and type your full name into the field provided in order to verify that you have read and agreed to the agreement. When you have completed all of the required fields in the payment account setup, click on Create New Payment Account. You will then receive confirmation that your payment account has been created and will be instructed that you still need to complete and save the payment step of the wizard to complete the setup. Close this window and continue on with the payment step of the wizard. If you have set up your payment method now, as was just explained, then you can jump ahead to the general settings portion of this video by clicking on the corresponding bookmark to the right. Set up payments later. If you cannot set up payment information now, then you do have the option to click Set up Later in the Payment Method section. However, it is recommended that you do set up your payment method as soon as possible. By default, when you select Set up Later, your race will not accept transactions. However, if you do wish to begin taking transactions now, then you can check off the box to indicate this as such. By choosing to begin taking transactions now and deferring setup, participants will be able to register, but you will not receive any payments until after you enter in your payment information. Also, transaction processing will be limited to $3,000. Once this goal has been met, all payments will stop being processed until you have returned to this step and successfully gone through the Setup Now option, as was explained in the previous section of this video. Keep in mind that if you do not enter this information in a timely manner, or if your account is not approved, then all transactions may be refunded to the registrants. In the Send Setup Instructions by Email section, you can send instructions to someone else to set up a payment account for your race if necessary by entering their email address into the field provided. However, it is best to go with Setup Now for your payment method, as was explained in the previous section of this video. Using the test mode. If you would simply like to test out RunSignUp, in order to make sure that it is the right registration site for your race, then you can select Use Test Mode as your payment method. This option will allow you to set up your race and test out registration without actually accepting credit card payments. When you are ready to accept transactions, then simply return to the payment step, which can be done by going to the Race tab of your dashboard, clicking Race Wizard, and then Payments, and then use the Setup Now option as was explained previously in this video. General Settings. In the Payment Emails section, you can leave the box checked in order to send an email with payment details to all race directors on your race, or you can uncheck the box if you do not want any race directors to receive payment notifications. For the purpose of this video, and for most races, you will want to leave these notifications on. If you do not yet have donations set up for your race, then you will find a brief donation section for enabling donations during the payment step of the wizard. Here you can enable donations by checking off the box labeled Accept Donations for your race. You will have the ability to customize the advanced settings of donations later, as is explained in How to Set Up Donations. The final section is for indicating who will pay the processing fees associated with your race transactions. Using the radio buttons, select the manner in which the processing fees will be handled for registration processing fees, store processing fees, and donation processing fees. Processing fees can either be paid in full by the participant, which means it will be charged in addition to your race fee. Processing fees can be paid in full by the race, which means it will be taken out of your race fee, or the processing fee can be half paid by the participant and half paid by the race. If your registration processing fee is not set to be paid by the registrant, then you can give registrants the option to pay the processing fee during registration by checking off the box. And if your donation processing fee is not set to be paid by the registrant, then you can give donors the option to pay the processing fee when making a standalone donation by checking off this box. When you are finished making changes to the payment step, be sure to click Save and Continue. The payment step is one of 7 steps that make up the Raise Wizard. To learn more about the other 6 steps, please refer to either How to Set Up Basic Info, How to Set Up Events, How to Set Up Registration, How to Set Up the Giveaway, How to Set Up Your Page, or How to Add More Customization. A written instruction manual is also available for this topic and can be viewed and/or downloaded in the How To section of RunSignUp.